brings us to the fundamental, the title of this program, the primary title about the hero's journey and the 5 rhythms. And the hero's journey is one of those fundamental deep structures. It's a deep pattern for life and for living. The idea that our life is a journey.
Just out of curiosity, how many of you are familiar with Joseph Campbell's book, A Hero with 1,000 Faces? Which is also a book in which he gave form to the deep process of the hero's journey, and in what way the hero's journey is universal to human beings throughout time and throughout cultures.
And in the sense that our life, and it's not only our whole life, certainly our whole life is a journey, but our life is actually also composed of many journeys, and that these journeys are very often in the form of this idea of a hero's journey. The foundation of a hero's journey is not just about being a hero. Actually, I mean, this is what Campbell is saying, is that it is the archetypal essence of basically what it means to strive to have a meaningful life. You can have a life that is devoid of much meaning. I mean, unfortunately, our modern consumer society tends to suggest that it isn't so important to have meaning, or that meaning primarily comes from possessions, right? And that what we do is we plop ourselves down in front of the television set or something like that, and the television becomes the most important way we live, or we live vicariously through experiences of others. The hero's journey our hero's journey starts when we stand up and begin to say, I'm going to live. I'm going to go for something that is meaningful, to have a sense of significance, to do something with my life where I feel that sense of satisfaction, of contribution. So this is a journey that is about basically coming alive. That's basically about saying, what is something that is going to bring meaning to my existence? And not just of my whole life, but also in the next week or the next moment. So what we're going to be doing is exploring this notion. We tend to say that the two fundamental aspects of the hero's journey are, one part of it is about healing wounds, healing our wounds. The hero's journey is always a healing journey. But the other part is about sharing our gifts, bringing our gifts into the world. And obviously, these two things are very intimately connected with each other, our wounds and our gifts. Sometimes our gifts, in fact, come from our wounds. And sometimes our gifts, of course, can bring us into places where we can become wounded. So this journey is about that double, in a sense, that parallel path.
Robert was giving me an example this morning. He just did a health certification training program in Holland, and that's people who are there working on healing wounds. But as they work on healing wounds, then they're sharing the fruit of the healing of their wounds. That becomes the gifts that they share. There's another program he does called Success Factor Modeling, which even the title caters to a whole different audience. Those are people who are wanting to learn what are the factors that create success in a business situation, for entrepreneurs, for example. But what stops them from actually being successful are their wounds that need to be healed. So in order to bring their gifts into the world, to have these success factors actually blossom, they're going to also be led to look at what are the wounds in the way. So the gifts and the wounds are intricately connected, and we'll be looking at both of those aspects on the journey.